right, man. So I just did this whole. It was 30 minutes. It was a 30, minute vlog, and I'm gonna be burping a lot because I am half in the bag because I just did one. It's a birthday vlog for Shinji Mikami, and I just read 2 Evil Within articles that I'm gonna have to reread again, and I'm not amused by this because, as I just said, I'm half in the bag because I was drinking this swill. So it was champagne for Shinji's birthday. Fuck this. Why be half in the bag when you can be all the way in it? Butt sticking out of the bag, that's not gonna work. So let's reread both the articles if I can find them, because now I can't find them. One was we are batting 1,000 right now. I am not happy. I am not happy about this at all. So let me pause a second, figure out where this article is, and we will start with the IGN article that came out like a day or two ago. And then a new article just dropped. I look a mess. A new article from the Bethesda website for the Evil Within 2 just dropped. I will try to be quicker about reading these than I was last time, so because I don't want to do this again. So let me find them. Hold on. Okay, so this is the IGN article that I'm going to read first. There's going to be a couple of elaborations, but I'll try to keep it to a minimum because I really don't want to do another 30-minute vlog. The Evil Within 2, Shinji Mikami talks his input on the sequel. So, and there's Shinji right there. He's so cute. I love it. I had such a horrifying crush on Shinji Mikami. So, this is by Lucy O'Brien of IGN. I'm just going to read the questions and do my elaboration. And anything that's a question is asked by IGN. I will either say Mikami or Shinji, or for Shinji Mikami, or Jonasis for director of the Evil Within 2, John Jonasis. So that's what we're gonna do. When did Tango Gameworks start working on the Evil Within 2? Excuse me, what was the timeline? Shinji. The development of the Evil Within 2 began in March of 2015. First elaboration. March of 2015, I do believe, was when the Kidman DLCs were first starting to come around. I think the first one came around in early March, and then the assignment came around in early March, and then the consequence came around in mid-April, and then by I think late May or June was when the Executioner came out. So they had pretty much, and the Evil Within came out in October of 20. In fact, it came out October 14th of 2014, which means the Evil Within 2 is literally 3 years a day short of when the Evil Within the original came out, which is kind of interesting. I know why they chose Friday the 13th, superstition and all that shit, but yeah, so November, December, January, February, March, it was 5 months, and like they had like a 5-month vacation, and then it was like, get your ass back in the studio and start cranking out some shit. So, and like I said before, I'm finding it surprising that Shinji was able to they were able to keep that all under wraps for so long. So that's kind of cool. But development began March of 2015. It progressed much like any other project, so the mid to late stages of development have been pretty intense. What was behind the decision to have John Jonasis step in and direct it rather than yourself? Shinji, I wanted Tango Gameworks to be a studio where young and talented creators are given a chance to succeed. John has a lot of talent, and an opportunity like this would have come his way sooner or later. I am still in love with this answer because that just shows, unlike fucking Kojima, who is just hoarding all the games, trying to make transcendent, whatever the fuck that means, games. And I just think it's so amazing that he's willing to, put his young staff out there to give them the opportunity to create. Because he really could have said, like, fuck y'all, we gonna do what I want and y'all can go to hell. But he didn't do that, and I just think that's why I call him Dear Sweet Shinji, because he just seems like a dear sweet man. He also seems like he might curse you out real bad, but like you'll get an apology like in a few hours when he cools down. So he is still astrologically speaking a Leo, so you know how that go. But I'm saying he seemed like he'll curse you out, but like you'll get an apology afterwards. Um, have you been working on other projects in the meantime, or have you been taking a break? Shinji, I've been managing the studio as a whole. To be honest, it was time for for the younger talent to do their thing. He's so cute. I love you, Shinji. I love you so much. You're so sweet. All right. The horror genre has changed a bit since The Evil Within. Actually, it changed before that, but whatever. Now, games like Outlast and Alien Isolation are the norm. Games where you can't actually kill the bad guy, all you can do is run and hide. There are elements of this type of gameplay in The Evil Within, Ruvik, and in its DLC. We see the elements of this in The Evil Within too. Jonasis. I think that type of pure horror gameplay is definitely compelling and I tend to enjoy it as well, but it can get a little overbearing if it goes on too long. Not to give too much away, but much like the original, there are some times where you have to run and hide rather than fight. But for the most part, The Evil Within 2 puts you in situations where if you're prepared correctly, you can take on the enemy, which is like, okay. So probably that's where all those side missions are gonna come in. So if you want to like go in, I don't think you'll ever truly be able to go in and just like blast your way through a scenario. I think it's gonna be like, you know, you got to take it one step at a time, and as you upgrade, you'll be able to fend off some of the tougher enemies. But like at least you'll have the opportunity, and you don't always, cause like with Outlast, you couldn't defend yourself against some fucked up people, and you just ass out. So I don't even know. Mikami-san, are you still driven to explore new avenues in the horror genre as you were when you decided to bring survival horror back in 2014? After all, you are still known as the godfather of the genre. It's more like the father, but whatever. Shinji, if I ever get an idea that truly frightens me, I'd like to turn it into a pure horror game. I don't want to know what would frighten Shinji. It would have to be some pretty ghastly stuff. So, I don't even know. Do you keep tabs on other horror video games? Have there been any in recent years? Have there been any recent years that have there been any in recent years that have excited you or that you've learned from? I love this. This is the best answer in the world. So, and you'll see why it just blasts my mind every time I read it, and it is so cool. So let me read it. Shinji, I wouldn't say I keep very close tabs, but I do keep an eye on them about as much as the average horror game fan. In terms of recent games, Resident Evil 7 was beautifully crafted. So, we are all in agreement, except for me. I liked Resident Evil 7. It didn't scare me as much as I would have liked to, because I think the Clancy story was way more freaky than the Ethan story. The Ethan story, I can't wrap my head around it. Like I said, I love my husband, but if he cut my hand, if he stabbed me through the hand, I'm getting out of Dodge and just like, fuck this. I ain't got time for this. But the Clancy stories, pound for pound, for me, horrified me. 21, awful. The bedroom, horrifying. His whole situation. And somebody pointed out to me recently, like, that was just stuff for, like, the coming attractions, kind of. It's like, okay, yeah, I understand that. But they do mention Clancy in the full game. So he is an actual character. While it wasn't, like, necessarily part of Resident Evil 7, he is a part of that universe as a whole. So don't try to fucking Resident Evil me, bitch. I know exactly what I'm talking about. So, but yeah, I think it's cool that Shinji recognizes it, because let's be real about the shit. Resident Evil was in a ditch for a very long time, and this is the first time in years they've gotten their lives together. So it's good to see that Shinji recognizes that, and hopefully the Evil Within 2 will be better and more horrifying. I'm already fucking scared of several things, so I know it's gonna be scared of the dark time for me. So, alright. Where did the idea of I always want to say Resident, because I just talked about Resident Evil, so every time I read this, even in the vlog I deleted, I always say this wrong. Where did the idea of Evil Within 2 STEM world as mastermind by Lily come from? I always fuck that up. Well, Genesis. Well, we wanted a convincing reason for Sebastian to risk everything to head back into the world of STEM. Based off what he experienced in the last game, is obviously not one of those places you would ever want to visit again. No shit. So we thought that you could be reunited with a child you thought was dead makes going back into STEM an obvious choice for the character. Ooh, sorry, I didn't mean to kick that. I guess I don't even know, cause that's harsh. Like, I know this is his kid, and he would do anything for Lily, and I just damn, this is well, damn. So but again, I don't think you could trust Mobius. Let's just be real about it. I watched the end of the Executioner, and if you remember, the guy that was in the Executioner was sent in to save his daughter. What the fuck happened to that dude? He ended up dead in one of those tubs, and his daughter was all crying and all saying like, yeah, where? Because you're picking Mobius. Nothing good can come out from picking Mobius. It's just gonna be a hot mess. So I don't even know. But I'm saying I wouldn't trust Mobius with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't trust it with a 10-foot pole that had barbed wire wrapped around it. And it was electrified. Because you can't trust Mobius. Mikami-san, is this your story or was it a team effort? Regardless of what from the first game story did you want to change/elaborate on in the second? Shinji, this time around, Mr. I cannot pronounce this name. Ishimaini. I think it's Ishimaini. Our scenario writer had the most influence on the story. He and the team worked with Trent Haga to build the story ideas into the sequel. The difference between this game's story and the first one is that we tried to focus on making it simpler and easier to understand. I kind of, with that little tidbit right there, like, I've always kind of looked at the Evil Within like this, that Sebastian didn't know what was going on. So if you don't really have like an understanding of what's going on, and you have a very limited understanding from finding information, you're not really quite gonna get what's going on around you. So it is gonna be kind of like somebody tells you half a story and leaves you kind of hanging with no resolution to it. So that's kind of why I think the story was kind of, plus Ruvik was fucking crazy. So can you really trust the mind of a man? Like, if the STEM world is based on somebody's mind and that person is not exactly mentally well wrapped, can you really trust that, stuff is going to make sense? Whatever. Compared to the first game where the protagonist got caught up in the story, this time he is there of his own volition, albeit warily. He heads into a frightening world in order to rescue his daughter. How is the world in the Evil Within 2? How different is the world in the Evil Within 2? I hear it's a bit more open in that one in the original concept. Could you elaborate on that? I think I just butchered that question, but whatever, we'll get the answer from Jonasis. The Evil Within 2 isn't an open world game. I need water. I'm dehydrated as shit right now. Hang on, because my throat is all cracky and I can't read. Come on, water bottle. I can't drink no more of that champagne. I'm going to die if I do. The Evil Within 2 isn't an open world game, but it has sections where the map can get very large and open up a bunch of options for you. From an actual landmass perspective, it's the biggest map we've ever put together. But what it does allow you to explore or prepare as much as you like before you want to proceed with the story. There are linear sections and points of no return. But for a good portion of the game, you can backtrack and search for side objectives, which a lot of people are complaining about, but screw those people. Will the sequel retain this original cinematic 2.51 ratio aspect? Ugh, dog fur. This was such a bold choice in the original game. Jonasis, we understand it wasn't something that was well received, even if internally we liked the direction. This time the game is played in a standard format. I have no idea about aspect ratios, so I don't know. um, will the sequel retain the original sense of disorientation? Areas shifting, suddenly shifting as nothing as it nothing is as it seems, etc. Genesis. Shifting realities is a key part of the franchise, and it exists in a game again. However, thematically, it won't be as jarring as it was in the first game. Even with the disorientation this time, there's a bit more logic to when and how it happens. The disorientation part kind of makes sense because Lily like is normal for all intents and purposes. Ruvik was kind of not normal. He had an Abby, if you ever seen Young Frankenstein, an Abby normal brain. So an Abby normal brain isn't gonna think is I can't pronounce. I'm so fucked up right now. But it's not gonna think as straight as like a normal person would have like, oh, I like petting dogs and I would like to get a pet dog, and I would name my pet dog Snooky or something crazy, and I don't know. That would be like a thought a normal person would have. A thought an abnormal person has, oh, I like socks. Oh, but what about these sandwiches over here? But wait, I like shoes. Well, that goes with the socks thing, but like less, direct. You don't really have a direct thought if you have an abnormal brain. So it's called flight of ideas for a reason. Like you're just thinking like one thing, and then it's completely one thought is completely unrelated to the other. So there's that. Um, the original, the original was all wheelchairs, hospitals, and shop dummies. Very Jacob's Ladder. What's the aesthetic this time around? Oh God, speaking of dogs. There wasn't a singular aesthetic. This is John Jonas talking. There wasn't a singular aesthetic that we centered on this time. There is an Americana rural feel to the town of Union. But because of. Thank you. Tell that dog to shut up. But because of how the characters in this game work, you'll be going to a multiple of locales that have very different aesthetics. Although there was an effort to make the environments a bit heavier psychological horror tinge than gore in the original. Basically, it's gonna be a mind fuck, and I already can tell because the whole Stefano, which we got to get into in a bit, is not helping. So, Mikami-san, would you still call The Evil Within 2 a Shinji Mikami game? Shinji, you will see my influence here and there. It was a team effort with John at the helm and me there supervising. So, yay! That was the first article. Now we gotta go reread the second article. I'm so drunk right now, and I don't want to read this again. But we have to. So, let's get it on. And let's do this thing. I'm going to start from the top. Alright, so, with that being said, this is the Bethesda article that came out today. So, The Evil Within 2, danger around every corner. It's not going to be a corner that don't have some fucked upness in it, which is not going to be nice. So, you think... if you think you're paranoid, imagine what it must be like for Sebastian Castellanos. Then again, can it really be considered paranoid if you're actually being hunted? I don't have an answer for that, but whatever. From the terrifying creatures that roam the streets to the warped individuals who have made their way into STEM and are now distorting the world to suit their needs. Again, Mobius, if you stop fucking putting holy rollers, children, and maniacs all together, you might as well just stick people in the real world, because that's what the real world is. Holy rollers, maniacs, and kids, and just regular people. Can't we just segment? It would be nice if you would just segment and just be done with it, but apparently, no. That makes too much sense. But whatever. And made their way into, and even to the elusive organization Mobius pulling all the strings from the shadows. Everyone and everything is out to get Sebastian. This man has just been through the mill and back. It is just awful. Quote, there's always risk no matter where you are, says director John Jonasis. In The Evil Within 2, we have these very large stages where you can explore at your own pace. But even these large-scale maps there are hidden dangers around every corner and you're never safe, end quote. You're never safe. That's not helping. That's not helping. That's not helping. Creature features. The Evil Within 2 will have no shortage of horrifying enemies wanting to tear Sebastian apart. But you won't face hordes of enemies shambling through the streets of Union and lurking in shadowy alleyways. But you won't just face hordes of shambling. Why are y'all doing this? The Evil Within 2 also includes powerful, quote, signature enemies, all of whom possess unique abilities which will require vastly different strategies to take on. These signature enemies were born from pervasive imaginations from the human monsters within STEM. You've already seen two, Stefano and Theodore. Again, I can't handle the Stefano gore-o-rama situation that's happening. I can't do all the blood and the shanking and just the fuckery that goes on with Stefano. That artwork is just not helpful at all. So, I don't even know. And Theodore is the last black man in town, which even in this, we still not getting to. So, I don't even know. But let me finish reading this. Quote, Stefano is an artist through and through, end quote, Jonasis tells us. Quote, there's a great mystery around this character and why he's in the STEM, but you'll have to explore the world to uncover his story. I already have a fan fiction for him in mind, and I don't know if I can write it yet because I don't know what his story is. But basically, the gist, of my story for Stefano currently is Mobius came to him like, oh, you can make all this beautiful art and you can make art for as long as you want to and you can do whatever you want forever in this world. And that was why he went willingly in the STEM, because he wanted to basically fucking shank people and use them as art fodder. So, like, that's the story I have in mind, but I don't know if that story is necessarily the right story. So I have to wait to find out what the fuck this crazy asshole is all about before I start writing shit. So, I don't even know. But going back to this, he has his own fucking stable of creatures that are intrinsically tied to him, and Obscura is one of them. It loves to take gruesome photos of his victims, just like Stefan. Man, I don't like the Stefano situation. It's too violent. I can't deal with it. The shanking and the gore. I'm just like not into this right now. But they just gonna make me have to deal with this because I don't even know. I don't know. Oh God, this is not helpful. We started shedding some light on Stefano. Watch the Survive trailer for more. No, I'm not watching it. Well, no. Theodore is an absolute mystery right now. Quote, you'll have to wait a bit longer to learn more about him. I'm telling you, that's the last black man in town. And the last time I watched the trailer, one side of his face is all fucked up. So, I'm guaranteeing, even though I said last time it might be slightly less horrific than Stefano, I somehow doubt it. It's probably going to be a little more. And I still think, I'm starting to think now, they trotting Stefano out here. That's the B villain. He's not the main one like Ruvik was. That's the B villain. Fucking Theodore is the A villain. And that's going to be some shit. I'm guaranteeing it's going to be horrifying having to deal with fucking Theodore, the last black man in town, and whatever nonsense fuckery he's got going on. Because they haven't even gotten to him, and I can guarantee he's going to be the more fucked up of the two. But everybody going to be riding Stefano's jock, because it's like I said, it's fan art going around all crazy, And I don't even know, but I guarantee Theodore is going to be somehow way more fucked up than Stefano. And I'm thinking Theodore's problem is he's some damn holy roller because he was wearing what looked like priest vestments. I don't know. This is all speculation, but I'm still speculating. Theodore is the A, Stefano is the B. So Stefano probably gonna be the first one to go off the be killed. So, and you want to end up fighting Theodore is like the last stand, aka Black Man in Town. So, but let me get back to this. You'll have to wait a bit longer to learn more about him, but he has his own twisted domain that's completely that has hold on, but he has his own twisted domain that he has filled with a completely different set of monsters. Quite honestly, my favorite enemies in the game are Stefano and Theodore, writer Trent Haga reveals. They're not monsters in the traditional sense of the word, but they're the ones driving and creating creatures like Obscura. They're truly the Why can't Sebastian create monsters? Or, like, at least take some of the old monsters he had, like, from the first game and use them to, like, fight, like, Obscura and whatever the fuck Theodore's talking. Because that's what I would do. I'd already been in the STEM. I know how it works. I should be able to create my own shit. I think that Sebastian should be able to create his own stuff. Or at a low, be able to take one of the old monsters and have them fight the new monsters. Because that would just be amazing if that would work. They're not monsters in the traditional sense of the word, but they're the ones driving and creating creatures like Obscura. Ugh. They're truly monsters, and they have these great, really creepy personalities. I fucking told you. But between Theodore, Stefano, and Mobius agents who have ended up in the STEM, there are a lot more characters that Sebastian gets to interact with. I don't want to work with nobody from Mobius because this is not going to work. STEM and Mobius. There are Mobius, and then there's Mobius. Fuck you, Mobius. They're the reason Sebastian is in this mess in the first place. Y'all, they're the ones who sent him in the STEM the first time. You mean trapped his ass in the STEM the first time. They're the ones who kidnapped his daughter and used her as the core in their new STEM world. And now they're the ones sending him back into the nightmare that nearly killed him last time. Mobius has taken everything from him, including his sanity, what was left of it anyway. And now they need him to clean up their mess. You can't trust Mobius. You're going to end up like they do at the end of the Executioner. Dead in a tub full of whatever the fuck that stuff is. I doubt it's water. And even if it is water, it's got pee and all kinds of nastiness in it. So I'm saying you cannot trust Mobius at all. You're going to end up dead. Period. This is how the game going to end. He going to end up dead. Because that's what happened at the end of the Executioner. Dude ended up fucked up. So Sebastian's going to end up fucked up. And I'm going to be sad when they kill Sebastian. Quote, STEM in the hands of Mobius is like if Freddy Krueger got his hands on the Matrix. It says Haga. It's a true nightmare in there, and Sebastian has no idea what he's getting himself into. No one... all he knows is that he has to save his daughter, and working with Mobius is the only way he can do that. Don't do it! You're going to end up fucked up. Mobius is begrudgingly relying on Sebastian, but that doesn't mean he hasn't any power in the situation. Okay. They still have Lily, and neither they nor he knows what's waiting in Union. Mobius has lost all contact with the agents they sent in, leaving Sebastian completely in the dark. Quote, Sebastian is Mobius's last resort, explains Jonasis. There have been people who have been sent into the STEM before him, and you may or may not meet these people inside. Whether or not those people will help you, you'll just have to find out for yourself. So, on one of them side quests, I hope they don't mean they'll send you on a goose chase on those side quests, just to, like, send you to go get fucked up, because that's... Oh my god. You can't trust Mobius. Don't trust Mobius. You end up fucked up. Period. There's the last little paragraph. Between the monsters in plain view, the ones just like fucking Theodore and them, and the shadowy organization pulling strings, it's enough to make even your most paranoid moment feel like a walk in the park compared with Sebastian's tortured plight. Y'all need to leave that man alone. He has truly suffered enough. Are we going to see Myra? Are they going to kill Myra? Because they might just kill Myra. Like, nobody said anything if she's going to come up and be like, I'm sorry I did this to you, which is kind of horrifying. No one's mentioned Joseph. I still think they're going to kill him. I know Rufus going to die in the comic book. That's just going to be a given. So, I don't know what's happening in the world. So, it's still looking hot. It's still Shinji's birthday, at least in America. And I'm excited for all of it. We will have to see how everything shakes out. The comic book, again, is coming out September 6th. The video game in North America is coming out October 13th, which is a Friday. The game is coming out. Psycho Breaku Ni is coming out in Japan October 19th, which is a Thursday. And the comic anthology is coming out November 7th, at least according to Amazon. So Shinji is doing a great job. We love Tango Gameworks. I think it's amazing that he's giving the younger group a chance to shine. So this is one of the reasons we love you. I still don't Shinji. I love you so much. So and that's why I mildly kind of stalked him when I was in Japan 2 years ago. Because he is amazing. So, although, I don't know, he's married. He seemed like, because he likes tough women, she might just shank my ass. So, I need to watch my P's and Q's. So, omedetou gozaimasu. Shinji Mikami, have a happy birthday. I don't remember how old he is. I'm too blitzed. And I just had to reread some stuff. So, that is all I have. And I will see y'all next time we get some news desk for Evil Within 2. So, later.